Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with this week's episode of the FNM Spotlight. This week I'm going to be playing a standard deck, and if you might have seen this already on the Playing on a Budget, or actually it's Rogue's Alley this week for Gathering Magic, I ran a Teamer version of the deck, Teamer meaning blue, and it runs in the sideboard. It has Clash of Wills, which is extremely powerful in like a Cryptolith Rite type deck. But this is, I'm going to try my hand at Jund, just because Jund is one of my favorite color combinations. I think Teamer is slightly higher of my favorite color combination, but you add some pretty cool stuff in this deck in the Jund list. Well, just a little bit of a preview. I'm going to be running all of these for next week's. I'm going to be going on vacation, so I've already recorded my next week's Rogues Alley for the or for Gathering Magic. So I've made a version out of each color of this deck, and I'm just going to give you a sneak preview of all of them, and maybe we'll compile some deck lists here and put them up on the website so you can look through. And then be realizing this is also going to be coming out for Gathering Magic next week. So you'll get to see at least one match for each one of these. And spoiler alert, they're all wonderful. This deck has been performing phenomenally. With the Teamer version, I was 9-1 before I started brewing around other decks, and now I think my combined record is quite high. I think I've only lost 2 matchups with this archetype and played well over 15 matchups on MTGO. So there's a lot of like other mirror decks that you run into. They like other Cryptolith Rite decks, like the Collected Company Cryptolith Rite decks, and you can just win out of nowhere with Descent of the Dragons and Dragon Tempest. So basically the combo, that's part of this combo piece is Dragon Tempest, which has some synergy. Has more synergy in the other decks that I build because it gives all flyers haste when they come into the battlefield. And with other versions, I have a lot more flyers, like the Teamer one, I was running Fairy Miscreants. And this one, we're running very few flying creatures. Thopter Engineer puts a flyer in, Pilgrim's Eye is a flyer, Pia and Kiran Nalaar put in flyers. And the Zulaport Cutthroats do not fly. Neither of these vampires. The Hangarback Walkers, when they die, become flyers. So, do you know what another card I should probably put in this deck is the Blazing Hellhound, just for fun's sake. I'm not quite sure Blazing Hellhound actually wants to be in the deck. It does give us a way to ping down our opponent. I think we should put a Blazing Hellhound. Let me go ahead and add a 1 of Blazing Hellhound, just for funsies, and we'll just get rid of like a Pilgrim's Eye, probably. So Blazing, or a Catacomb Sifter. I think I'm just going to get rid of a Catacomb Sifter and just run 2 of. And this helps us, this gives us another little sack another creature combo with the Zulaport Cutthroat. Gives us a sack outlet that I think is a little bit better than Nantuko Husk. You can ping down problematic cards. So this Evolutionary Leap is the way to dig through our deck with the Scry, with the Catacomb Sifter, the Cryptolith Rites to tap for a ton of different mana. It's going to be nice now with the Blazing Hellhound too, because you can tap the cards to produce the mana to sacrifice them. I thought about, like, now this actually makes us want to run like a combination of the last Friday Night Magic Spotlight that I did. Last one was the Blazing Hellhound with, yeah, a lot of these cards. Yeah, now I'm actually starting to see this is very similar. But I ran Smothering Abomination, which could definitely go in this deck. I just don't think, every time I ran Smothering Abomination, it was kind of dead. It was hard to really get value out of it. But we do have Sacrifice through Pia and Kiran Nalaar, through Cryptolith Rite, and through Descent of the Dragons. But by that point, I think that we just win the game. So I think maybe we should, just for funsies' sake, put in just a 1 of Smothering Abomination too. But I'm trying to figure out where. I think we'd want it in front of just a Duskwatch Recruiter. And this gives us another. The problem with Smothering Abomination is black is the hardest color for us to get out. But with Cryptolith Rite, that's quite easy. And I guess we could just go crazy with the Smothering Abomination through the Evolutionary Leap combo. And that can help dig us towards our combination as well. So, and it does have haste through the Dragon Tempest. So maybe that's actually not a bad little line of play. So just making this up as we go along, I guess. So the Jund, though, Jund with Kalitas gets really incredibly powerful. Still just 1 of Dragonlord Atarka and 2 of Ulamog. We do like the 1 of the Great Aurora. It gets us out of some weird situations. Impact Tremors are fine in the sideboard. I do still like the From Under the Floorboards. I think a Liliana would be kind of nice with From Under the Floorboards as well. I don't know if we want Liliana in the sideboard. Again, let's do it. Let's put a Liliana in the sideboard instead of a Transgress. And Heretic Healer, just a one of in the sideboard. I don't think it wants to be in the main. We could get rid of like a Loam Dryad. Again, we'd probably have to up our count in swamps now. I guess we have the Evolving Wilds to find us the 2 of swamps to go for the Liliana. Also the Pilgrim's Eye. And this allows us a little more advantage through. Yeah, what would we want to cut if I was going to put that in the main board? Usually I'm a little more put together when I make these videos, but this one I just want to keep brewing and see what we can come up with. Because I do want, 2 Transgress is probably the right number. You don't want to see 2 of them, just one to rip out something in your opening hand. It gives us a little more padding. But the question is, do I want Liliana main or not? And I think that I don't. I think that it's fine in the sideboard. We can bring it in versus specific matchups where it's going to be good to kind of bring back a card out of the graveyard. Like a Hangarback Walker is not good with Liliana because it puts it back in the battlefield. But cards even like Duskwatch or another Zulaport are something we can get back quite easily, even a Loam Dryad. But just Liliana is kind of fun with from under the floorboards. So we'll have to wait and see if it actually is worthwhile. So yeah, it really ends up being melding the 2 decks that I've been playing with recently into kind of one. And we have a lot of tricks with this deck though. Anyway, I just go ahead and be looking for that next Friday. So the one that came out today, the Teamer Thopters for Gathering Magic, go check that out. And then next Friday you'll get to see a bunch of different lists. I'm just giving you a sneak peek of them. There's this Jund one. There is this Naya, which the advantage of this has Secure the Wastes and Eerie Interlude, and they'll Eldrazi Displacer. Bygone Bishop's actually fun, and Dragon Tempest is a lot better in this particular deck. These should be Nahiri's, I think, instead of Gideon. Nahiri is just incredibly powerful about getting rid of problematic cards on your opponents, and a lot of enchantments, like the Cryptolith Rite decks on the opposing side, is something that Nahiri is great for. It also can go and grab the either Ulamog or Dragonlord Dromoka or Dragonlord Atarka. So I think that's, so let's just replace these really quickly. They don't have these online, so I can't play it online, but I already did play it for Gathering Magic with the Gideons in the sideboard, and they didn't come in on any of the games that I played. But Nahiri, I think Nahiri's great in this deck too. And then, so basically advantages is we have the Eldrazi Displacer that can flicker back like Pilgrim's Eyes, can flicker the Gear Crafters, the Thopter Engineers, the Pia and Kiran Nalaars. That's the advantage of White. I don't know if we'd want another one. I just think having the one is fine. So like a 1 Duskwatch, 1 Eldrazi Displacer. Also gives the Impact Tremors Secure the Waste combo. They can actually kill pretty good against decks that are not good with dealing with Impact Tremors. And the Secure the Waste is just phenomenal, especially with Cryptolith Rite. Then we have the old Teamer Thopters one, which you can see on Gathering Magic. I've made a few changes here, just add like a World Breaker and whatnot. The advantages of this one are definitely Whirler Rogue is probably the best card in its position, because Pia and Kiran Nalaar can get kind of awkward if you have multiples, and Whirler Rogue does not get awkward if you have multiples. Then we also have the Clash of Wills, which is just extremely good for countering cards. So against control, we just counter their specific card that they're going to hate us out with, like a Languish, for example, even though this deck doesn't really care too much against the Languish. But phenomenal card against a number of matchups. And then the Sarkon Unbroken is also good versus those mid-range types. It brings in dragons. It's kind of fun with Dragon Tempest. You can Sarkon in, and they actually have haste and deal 1 damage when they come into play. So you can pick off little 1/1s like a Zulaport Cutthroat from the Dragon Tempest trigger and then just swing in for the 4/4. Then we have just the red-green version, which I don't know which one I'm the most fan of. This one is more all-out with like the Gear Crafters and Thopters. It has Den Protector and Pulse of Marasa combo that you can against like those really grindy matchups. You can draw a ton of value off of Den Protector and Pulse of Marasa. Also gives you 6 life per time. Act of Treason's another cool card. I kind of stole some ideas off of Decklist. It's kind of similar to this. It went 5-0. You have Blister Paws. You don't need to run Loam Dryads. You can go all in on the Elvish Visionaries and the Duskwatch Recruiters. And yeah, so they're all very similar. It's just really whatever flavor you like the most. is it's really up to you. They're all great decks. Again, I think I'm like 15-2. It's just phenomenal record with it. Played green-white tokens. I've played against black-green control, seasons past control. I played against a number of collected company decks. So right there, we've got the top 3. Haven't played against humans, but this deck is going to do insanely good. Yes, I have. Actually, I have played against humans with this deck, and this deck actually just wrecks it because of Thopter Engineer, Gearcraft. Well, first of all, Hangarback Walker is great unless they get the Exile card, and if not, like Gearcrafter and Thopter Engineer and Pia and Kiran Nalaar are so good versus humans. And even like Blister Pods, Elvish Visionaries, they clog the board up so well. And the really good thing about it is they can't fly over top of you either. You have chump blocking Thopters forever. So just keep that in mind. The deck does good against even Westvale Abbey type decks, as you can just chump block and then sack them to Evolutionary Leap or Pia and Kiran Nalaar. So yes, I have played against the big 4. Green-white tokens, seasons past control. The only losses I have right now out of the 15 plus matchups I played is a 1 loss to a Jace's Sanctum blue deck, which this deck can do terrible against because it's those type of decks really prey on slower decks, and they have the counter magic for the pivotal cards. They just need to counter and then just ignore everything else, and then like cards like Engulf the Shore are really good against it. And the other one I've lost against is the Collective Company Zulaport Cutthroat 3-color company or Abzan and Company deck, but I think I'm 4-1 versus that deck with these type of Thopter lists. So the 1 loss is only a 25% loss because I beat the other matchups of the Collected Company decks, and it was both games he drew double Collected Companies, and that's very hard. Cryptolith Rite and Collected Company in those matches, and then the Brain the Jar, or excuse me, Jace's Sanctum blue deck. So this deck is legit. It is incredibly powerful. I know the metagame is more diverse than that, so we haven't really tested against like Naya Planeswalkers or black-white control or Esper Dragons or what are some other things that are out there, which really means it's a very healthy metagame, which I'm very excited about. I'll be so disappointed if there's too many broken cards in the Eldritch Moon that just break standard. And then I'm going to be very disappointed when rotation happens, because this has just been a phenomenal standard, just very open. The only card that I really can't stand right now, because I think it just really limits the ability to brew, because of especially 4-drops, is Collected Company. I think Collected Company actually keeps a lot of brewing down, because it's just such a duck card. It's just so easy to just throw in Collected Company. It's keeping back like even like Elf's List that could run like an Elf aggro strategy, because why would you run like a Llanowar Empath when a Collected Company exists? So besides Collected Company, I really can't think of a card that I don't like in Standard at the moment. I think it's a very, very, very diverse format. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to get to FNM and actually play this and see how well it goes. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Friday Night Magic Spotlight. If you are interested in pre-ordering for the Eldritch Moon, we have pre-orders available at RogueDeckBuilder.com. Just click on the link to the right, which will take you to the store. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out other Friday Night Magic Spotlights. We do Modern and Standard. Click on the link to the right or to the left. And always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.